saying it out loud.
This meeting is being recorded.
God, I don't know why that thing's so loud. Sorry about that. It scared me. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. For those of you that are joining us for your first time, or you're live, or you're watching it later, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the end of our 5-day Live Ageless Method workshop, and I'm so impressed with, like, a lot of you showed up every day. That's pretty impressive. So yay to you, and everyone that's watching it later, yay to you. There's quite a few of you that have been watching it after. And I do appreciate all the comments and feedback and everything. It's really helpful for me, actually, to help you. So I am just going to go and give a little recap of the past 4 days. And if those of you have missed it, and as Lainey had mentioned, we do send follow-up emails every day, and they have the recaps in them. So you can always go back. You have those. If it's helpful, you can fast forward me and mute me and do all what you need to do. So back to day 1, which is where we all began, which was our mindset and how it plays a significant role in your lifestyle and your health choices. And here we go. Hang on. Sorry. Wish I was better at doing 2 things at once, but I'm not. So the recap, we're starting with the first day, again, which was our mindset session. And everything really begins with your mindset. And while it sounds like a hokey kind of hippy-dippy thing, it's not. You know, your mindset really began, or it started, or was created from things that happened years ago in your childhood, if there were any traumas, all different kinds of things. It's that little voice in your head that tells you all kinds of things. Sometimes they're negative things. Unfortunately, more often than not, they're not so positive things. It's the lens in which you view yourself. It is not how other people perceive you. So it's a really important piece of this, okay? Your mindset is yours. No one else sees it. It's about the most private, intimate thing there is as it relates to you. And the view that you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way that you lead your life, and you probably may not, or I'm going to rephrase that, you may not even have realized that. Okay, so again, it's that little voice in your head that can be changed. There's actually a bunch of voices, at least in my head. I have a lot of voices. I talk to myself all the time. You know, there's that voice in your head that says, get out of bed, let's go work out. And there's that voice in your head that says, it's super cozy and it's dark and it's ugly out. So, you know, life is just a bunch of choices. So the main takeaway from the mindset is, it can be changed. It doesn't make it easy, okay? Change is anything but easy. But be kind to yourself. Focus on the journey. A lot of us get really hung up with the outcome. There's the processes where from here to here, there's a big gap. And that's where all the change happens, okay? Respect the process, because that's what it is. It is a process, and growth and change take time. It took time for us to think this way. It's going to time for us to unthink that way, right? So day 2, which was an interesting one, emotional and stress eating and finding your power and control, okay? This one I get pretty passionate about. I think I would have to imagine that almost everyone out there is guilty at some point in their lives of emotional and stress eating, and you may not even realize it. There's actually a biological connection between emotional eating and stress. It's when cortisol gets released. That's when anxiety sets in. It's kind of that fight or flight starts to get going. And then what happens is we tend to eat to numb ourselves, either because it associates with something that made us feel good at one point, or that bag of chocolate chip cookies is just sitting in front of you, or whatever. But more often than not, we eat to numb ourselves. We also, at times, eat to sabotage ourselves. So there's that component. And unfortunately, it's usually sugary, crappy, processed, salty things. And what happens when you eat that kind of stuff, and again, I'm going to go back to when your kids were little and you're at the birthday party and they get cake and candy and all kinds of crap and they're bouncing off the freaking walls. Well, the same thing happens to you, and you're feeling good because and then boom, you crash, okay? It's no different. And then this cycle begins and continues until we get dizzy and fall off, all right? So there's 4 stages of emotional eating. The trigger, boom, what triggers you and what triggers me, what triggers her and someone else are all different, okay? The trigger is yours. The cover up is the food. Just Just throwing that out there. The false bliss, that's that numbness. That's why you're eating and you're feeling really good, and then boom, the hangover, okay? Or the crash, however you want to think about it. But that's really how it works. And if you think about it, it's like anything else. It is a process. And once that crash happens, the guilt sets in, you get angry with yourself, and then the cycle goes around again. We need to break the cycle. You know, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting change. You can't, you know, it's interesting as I'm saying this, you can never expect change. You have to create change. And I say it all the time. I say it when I teach my classes, I say it to my clients, I say it to myself. You must, and I think, again, it's this mindset thing. If you can start thinking about things like that, creating the change, don't expect it. It's not going to happen. No one's going to throw change at you. You have to want it. You've got to fight for it. And just a little tidbit, there are foods that actually help reduce stress. And I went into that the other day, and I'll go into it a lot more later. But here's the thing, you need to eat correctly. So when you're falling into this emotional stress eating and stress happens, shit happens, you don't necessarily have to eat less. You just have to eat correctly. And not all calories are created equal. Not all carbs are created equal. People get freaked out about their calories. Just throw it out. Don't let your head get in this. So lean protein is your friend, and carbs are not your enemy. Chips and cookies are your enemy, but carbs are not, okay? Fruit are carbs, veggies are carbs, whole grains, beans. There's, Crosby just entered. There are great carbs out there, and carbs produce energy for both your bodies and your brains, and I can't stress that enough, okay? So just to finish off this segment, finding your power might be the most important component of all of this, and I am just a huge proponent of it. So you ultimately have all the control in everything you do for you. So you need that self-satisfaction. Small wins add up to huge wins, okay? And don't limit yourself. There are strategies for control, okay? There's ways around everything. Day 3, we talked about the power of movement for our bodies, our brains, and our mental health. And I talk about mental health a lot because that is a huge piece of this puzzle that for some reason people overlook. It's like this taboo word. So keep in mind, inactivity equals disease. It just does. I don't mean to sound mean, but it just does. It will catch up to you. So there's 4 reasons to focus on movement, main reasons. Balance, huge, especially as we age. Heart health, which is your cardiovascular. Brain health, yes, it affects our brain. Our brains grow, they can continuously grow. And your mental health, again, I'm throwing that out there. I mean, how good do you feel when you're done with the workout? I mean, I feel like a freaking rock star. So maybe that's why I work out all the time, right? Movement has actually been proven to stave off dementia, okay? That's a huge thing. There's a lot of science behind it. And even moderate daily movement can help your brains from aging. Yes, your brains age. Every organ in your body ages. So just a couple things that movement really helps. Circulation, releases feel-good hormones, keeps our joints moving. If you don't move, you get really like rickety. I don't have a better word for that. It strengthens your bones. It keeps osteoporosis away. It keeps you mobile. The more you move, the more you can move. Okay, it's like productivity begets productivity. You keep moving, you will keep moving. It slows cognitive decline, and it helps you live longer. And yes, it helps you look better. And listen, don't take, there's a lot of beauty in that, no pun intended. Yesterday, we talked about accountability and creating change. This is a huge piece of it. There's 4 steps to accountability as it relates to your health. 1, and this is really important, have the courage, and I'm really, emphasizing that word, to accept what needs to be changed. That means you need to look deep into you. Okay, it's not, we all think we're perfect out there, right? Second one, find the compassion for yourself to own what needs to be changed. It's okay. It's all okay. And then obtain the wisdom to solve it. Most often that means seeking help, okay? And then put out a plan and put it into action. It's not simple, but if you break it down and you just take 1 step at a time, it makes sense in our heads. Once you can wrap your head around things, everything gets easier. So again, accountability keeps you engaged. It drives up your results. It keeps you in the process and it measures your success. And I've mentioned a lot, you need to see what you need to own where you are. You need to see where you're at the moment and how far you've come and where you need to go. Okay. And I promise you those goals get better and better because you get better and you get stronger and you keep moving forward. There's no sense in being stagnant. So I'm going to switch gears for a moment. I have three lovely women that I have asked to speak on my behalf a little bit. First, I'm going to call up Sylvia. If you don't mind unmuting yourself, because I don't know how to do that.
Right here. I'm unmuted.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I've been working with Sylvia for a while now, right, Sylvia?
Yes, you have.
So I'm going to ask you pretty much three simple questions, and if you don't mind sharing with everyone, and if anyone else has a question, that'd be great. One, when I ask about your life, I'm asking about your health, your wellness, what was your life like before we started working together? What was your physical capabilities, as far as
I was very weak. I had no physical capabilities. I was at the very beginning. I mean, I had breast cancer 11 and a half years ago. So they had cut everything off of my pec. So I had no arm muscle. My back hurt. I couldn't walk real well. My balance was bad. I mean, everything was a mess.
And how has it been? What's it like working with me? How is that?
It's been amazing working with you. You were the only one that's got me to lose a lot of weight. 30 pounds almost. And I've not been able to do that in years. And you've got me eating correctly, and you've got me working out, and you worked on my balance and my back and my strength. And I feel like a totally different person. And
that was my biggest question.
Motivating. You were easy to work with. You were motivating. You were there every step of the way, and you're still there every step of the way. You monitor what I eat, and you tell me, no, I need to drink more. I need to get more steps in. I get texts from you constantly all day long, motivating. You tell me how great I'm doing, which keeps me wanting to do it and to see how great I can do.
And the most important thing, Sylvia, that you need to recognize, I'm going to say this in front of everyone, while I have been helping you every step of the way, you have been the one doing the work. So kudos to you, girlfriend, okay?
Thank you.
So I'm going to mute you. I'm going to call in my lovely daughter, Samantha. Sam, you there?
I'm here. Hi.
And the reason I'm calling Sam, for those who don't know me, this is my daughter Sam.
But it says Crosby on her thing. Is she Crosby today?
I know, it's so funny. I literally cannot undo it. I consider myself pretty tech savvy, and I can't undo it.
Sylvia, do me a favor and mute you just in case anything happens. But we talked about this yesterday a little bit, and as a mother, and especially to a daughter, but just as a mother in general, I think it is so important that we lead by example. And I just wanted to ask Sam, as having a mother who lives this life and who lives agelessly, has it affected you? What kind of, I don't know, just
no effect. No, nothing. In a word, I would call it lucky. I feel very privileged to have grown up where witnessing taking care of yourself is a priority far and above anything else. And I think that that's very rare and unusual. And I'm just thankful that was instilled in me at a young age, and through a lot of different life stages. I saw how important that was through my mom and through my own experiences. I also, a couple things. I think that sometimes I take it for granted how I wake up and want to work out every day and want to eat well and take care of myself. And I know so many of my friends really struggle with that. They just can't find the time. They can't put away the snacks. And I realize that that's very common, and that I think that I'm very disciplined. Not that I don't splurge on dessert and even make my mom order the grits at brunch and not tomato slices, because I also think balance and living a little is super important. So I teach her a thing or two every now and then. But I am well aware that what I have is a gift that was given to me. And I am doing everything in my power to make sure that my boys know how important it is to be healthy and to take care of themselves, and that mommy needs to stay healthy and take care of herself. So I feel lucky, and thank you, Mom. And everyone would be lucky enough to work with you.
I have one more question as it relates to your kids. Do you think they see me as an age? Does that make sense? Or do you think that they don't think about that?
I don't think kids think about that. I do think that, you know, it will become apparent to them when you are doing things with them that of their friends, grandparents are no way doing. And I'm sure they even recognize some of that today. So I wouldn't discount it at all.
So does that mean Cross is going to stop making me climb to the top of the play structure soon? Hopefully not.
You're never going to be able to stop that.
Well, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. And my last person, I'm calling up Sherry Margolis. Sherry, you can unmute.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Sherry.
Look beautiful.
Oh, you look so professional.
You're saying.
So Sherry, this is Sherry. Hi, everybody. You probably recognize her. So Sherry, how long have we been working together, Sherry?
Has it been a couple of years now? I think it was
I'm
like
trying to think about that. Actually, Morgan was the one that hooked us up. One of your daughters reached out to her.
my kids wanted to get me a Mother's Day present, and my daughters are very fit and work out all the time, and I didn't. And so they got me a Mother's Day present. They got me 3 sessions with Karen. And thank you, Morgan, for directing them in the right direction. And to be honest with you, I kind of dreaded it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to do it. I used to walk. I still walk. I was a walker, and I felt like that was enough. And I don't like working out. And I really didn't want to, and I kind of dreaded it. And then I worked out with Karen and discovered what an incredible person she is. And it's your personality and your talent and the fact that you really care about the people you're dealing with that makes such a difference. And you're so motivating because you're very positive. And I mean, everybody responds in a different way, but for me, I respond to positive reinforcement. And when I accomplish something, when I reach a new goal, or I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do before, thanks to your encouragement and the way that we work together, it makes me feel great. I mean, it just makes me feel better about myself. I feel stronger. You give a lot of positive reinforcement, and you're really, really good at what you do. And to the point where it's one of the high points of my week now is when I get to go see Karen and I get to go work out. And I tell you how different that is. Those words would never have come out of my mouth. Oh, I'm looking forward to working out. Never before. So thank you for that.
You are welcome, and I appreciate you coming on very much so. And just as a little highlight to Sherry, I get such a kick out of working with Sherry because you never give up. You are just like all in, and every time you're like a little kid and you're just bouncing off the walls. You're like, I used to hate this and I love it now. So that's what this is all about. Getting healthy should not be a chore. It should be part of your life. It should make you happy. It should make you feel good. So thank you for sharing. I really do appreciate that. And thank you. So thank you. I'm just gonna kind of round off today before I open it up for questions. So this workshop was, as I mentioned before, a high level to the program that I've been working on for quite some time. It's called the Live Ageless Method. It's the Live Ageless Method workshop. And it's all about, clearly living agelessly and living your life the best that you can and making the right choices and knowing that it is a process and it takes time and it's full of choices, and life goes up and life goes down and life blows up in us sometimes. So we have to stay in the game because we are the most important people to ourselves, because if we're not strong and healthy and feeling good about ourselves, we are no good to anyone else. And the program, I just want to give you kind of like an overview, and we're going to send out emails and you can all kinds of questions. It's basically based on 6 core principles. So it's nutrition for life, no fads. This is real life. I don't believe in fads. I don't believe in, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think about it. Doesn't matter. But it's real life that there's changes that you can make that will become sustainable and will make a huge difference. And then it becomes your way of life, which is pretty cool. The second one is functional fitness. And I say functional because that is a huge deal for real life and real movement. As we talked about before, it's no longer about bikinis and size 2 dresses. It is about balance and circulation and control and your cognition. There is so much to movement that is beyond how you look. I literally could go on and on about that, but I won't. I will at some point, but right now. The third one, and these are in no particular order because they're all so important, is stress management and ways to take care of you. Most of us are mothers, and I feel like all we do is take care of everyone else in our lives. And like as Sam has said, and that's why I put her on there, and trust me, daughters can be tough on you, so they're not always filled with like lovely comments. But being an example for your children, I don't care if they're daughters or men, doesn't make a difference. Being an example, a role model, and how you're taking care of yourself and how you're leading by example and how you are not becoming a burden to your children as we age is huge. So their stress really can be toxic. It's not really, it is toxic. So there's lots of ways, there's techniques to take care of ourselves, and it is such a huge component in health. Number 4 is healthy, sustainable, and I use that word all the time, lifestyle changes. Your mindset, we talked about how your mental health plays a huge factor in all of this. Creating, every day is an opportunity, and I really believe this, every day is an opportunity to create some sort of change, and change builds on change. Success builds on success, and it's finding those little successes that just turns into this huge, and I keep saying this magical moment that all of a sudden, like, this is your life, and it's like the coolest thing ever. The 5th one is becoming comfortable with challenging yourself. Life is full of challenges, so you have to be prepared. I am always prepared. I'm like hyper vigilant in everything I do. A little crazy, but that's besides the point. Change doesn't happen. It doesn't get handed in your lap. You have to create it. You have to find ways, and you have to find ways to build on those changes. It's the only way that you can grow and evolve. And I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, you can evolve, you can change, and you have to embrace your strengths and your weaknesses and accept who you are and where you're at, and be realistic of the process to get where you want to be. And then the last one, I say this all the time, this is my jam, it's finding your power. And it may sound hokey, but once you understand it, once you can grasp your power, and everyone has their own power, whatever that looks like to you, and it's not easy to find, it's not. It's digging deep to find out your why, and I've talked about that for the past 5 days, and it's really an important thing. Why do you want to change? Why do you want to do the work? This isn't graded. You're not gonna, make more money because of it. You're not going to go on vacation. It's for you. Why? Why is this so important to you? And once you can figure that out, and once you hone in on that why, man, it's full steam ahead. And you will learn to create paths that will lead you to defy your age. And I promise you can get there. And the last big piece of this, is, as far as my program is concerned, is there's an app involved in it. And I am not techie, so it's brainless, because if I can handle it, you can handle it. It's a big accountability piece, and I've been talking about accountability this whole time. So it measures your, again, it's all you get what you give in life. So if you follow it and you do the things you are meant to do, then it will help you. So you track your food, your water intake, which so many of you struggle with. It connects with your wearable, whatever wearable you have. It connects with all that, and I see it, and like Sylvia said, I literally text her, you got to move, girl. Like, you've only walked 1,700 steps today, and you can ignore me, and I'm okay with that. But it's that instead of that voice in your head that says stay in bed, I'm your voice in that head that says, okay, let's do it. And you and me are in this together, and it's a journey, and it's part of the process, and it's difficult to do this alone. And it really is. And I really respect, I've been motivated for a lot of reasons. That's my why, and I shared it with you earlier, but I like to think of myself as a self-motivating person as it relates to my health, because I value the importance of my health. I've seen people that succumb to stress, and I see what happens to them. I see what people that succumb to their weaknesses, and I say this with no judgment, okay? It is a struggle. Some people genetically are so inclined that your metabolism is slower. Okay, people are blessed with good genes, they're blessed with bad genes, but it's what you've got to deal with. So there is just so much accountability in life and health, being mental health, physical health. It is a freaking journey, and it never stops. And if you jump off, I'm there to catch you, okay? And that is a big deal, because it's really hard, and it's a lonely path to be on your own. So again, you all are, since you've been part of this, are going to get more information on it. You're also going to get a link to book a call with me that we can sit and talk. If you're interested, or if not, I'm here. It rocks my world to really like take people through this, and to see someone like a Sherry who literally walked into my house the first day and says, okay, my daughters gave me this horrible gift of 3 sessions with you. I'm just telling you now, I'm going to hate it, and we're done after this. I'm like, all right, lady, whatever. 2 years later, I can't get rid of her, okay? We are stuck together. So Sylvia, we've been together, I don't know, forever. So for some reason, I cling to people, or they cling to me, which I guess is a compliment somewhere along the way. So if anyone has any questions about the recap, about anyone I've worked with, talking about maybe Sylvia or to Sherry, or anything about the program, or anything in general, unmute yourself, ask. And if not, you're going to get an email that kind of recaps everything. Anyway, Lainey, Amy, you're always good with questions.
I'll say something here. So I've known Karen for probably 24 years. I've seen you ride your bike down Farmington Road, a few miles from your house. You've always, I know you live this. I also loved how Samantha said that your working out gave her a gift. I thought that was so beautiful, that kudos to her. I have a question. Sure. So like I do like weights, but like today I spun and there was like light weights. Is there like, you told me that weights were like, for the weight bearing for your skeleton. Right. Is there a benefit to doing heavy versus light if you only do one? Or, I mean, I know you got to mix it up, but is there like a benefit versus doing a lot of light versus a few heavy?
Well, there's a benefit to both. There's no, in a short answer, yes to both. And that's probably not what you were looking for. There is a benefit to using light weights and doing more reps. And there is a benefit to using heavier weights and doing less reps. And in a perfect world, you want to do both, and you want to increase. I mean, not crazy. I never lift more than, 12 pounds, because why? Besides Oakley, who I lift is 40 pounds. But unless you're really looking to like bodybuild, 10, 12, 15 max, you never ever have to go heavier than that. But you do want to change it up, because like, again, this word change, it's always about creating change. And as I tell my clients, if you're working out consistently, you can create the change either by increasing your intensity, which is maybe lightening up your weights and doing more reps, or increasing the weight and doing less weights. So yes to both. So yes, being on your bike and using the weights, that counts as, that's weights, that's great. So, and doing something is always better than doing nothing. I have to throw that out there. But those were all good questions, and thank you about Sam. And and I've said this because I believe it. Again, we are, when you think about taking care of yourself, automatically, I think, especially women, I don't know why, I think that it's selfish. And I think it's probably the most selfless thing that you will do. I believe that, and I'll believe that when I'm 90, still working with people, hopefully, right?
Took a while to,
Karen, I just want to say one more
realize it,
thing.
but definitely. All right, I'm going to mute.
Sorry, I just want to say that when I started out with you, I didn't want to work out either. I hated to work out. I wanted nothing to do with working out. I thought it was the worst thing in the world. I can't, when I don't work out, I feel awful. When I work out, I have so much more energy, and I'm so happy that I got up and I got there and I worked out, and I can't imagine.
Well, good. I appreciate that. It should be fun too, just for the record. That's why, again,
make it fun. You always make it fun.
I try. Anyone else have any other questions? Comments? All right. Well, just to culminate, again, I want to thank all of you, especially quite a few of you showed up live pretty consistently, and this was my first time doing this. I thought maybe nobody would show up, maybe my sister, because she loves me, she's my sister. But other than that, I really didn't know if anyone was going to show up. So thank you. And you kept showing up. I hope what I gave to you was informative. I hope there were some takeaways. Again, you get the recap, so look at them again, or you have them. You will be getting an email with the recaps for the past 4 days, and then you will also be getting an email really breaking down my program and more information on it. And again, a link to book a call with me. I'm happy to chat with any of all of you, and I would really enjoy it. So thank you for your time, for your effort, for a lot of you for your input. It's really been a humbling experience, and I get very passionate, very excited about this, because if I can just turn one person on to leading this healthier life, that just rocks my whole world. So my gift to you is hopefully it woke something up inside of you that maybe will motivate something. And if you do, just share it with me. I'd love to know, because like I said, every bit of progress, every bit of success is a huge win. And really take a moment to celebrate yourself whenever you can, because it's really important. And praise is big for everyone else. Take care of yourself. Become your biggest fan. I want to leave you with that. It's really important. Look at yourself out every day. Write a nice little note to yourself. Give yourself a high five. Whatever it is, whatever rocks your world, do that for yourself. Right, Morgan? I had to call you out a little bit, but it's true. Growth is a process. It is important. No matter how old we get, we're never too old to change and to evolve. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And I hope to talk to all of you within the next week or so, okay? Have a great weekend. Get out there and move, drink your water, move around, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your families, and have an outstanding rest of your day, okay? Thank you again.
Thanks.
Take care. See you later. Bye, guys.